What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today we are on the test server here, and we will be covering all the new champions that will be coming with the upcoming Fusion patch for Noldua. Noldua is going to be the Fusion, and she's going to be from the Dark Elf faction. Looks amazing. I actually really like this aesthetic. I think they've sharpened it up a little bit on this one. Usually we get the female characters. They looking a little bit different, but Noldua here definitely hitting it out of the park. Looks amazing. What is she wearing? Anyways, we went over a kit in a previous video along with her partner Solinar from the High Elves. Solinar looks like basically Goku or Sun Wukong in human form, I guess, but they all look kind of the same. But anyways, they've been hitting it out of the park with these two champions. They look amazing. Not going to go over this the kit here in this video, but we do have a couple new champions that are coming with the same update. So I wanted to cover that in this video here, and we get a sneak peek on the test server. So first up, we have from the Barbarian faction, a brand new mythical champion here, Arne the White. Arne the White. Now tell me guys, this does not look like freaking Khal Drogo from Game of Thrones. Tell me this guy does not look like Khal Drogo. Look at those freaking eyebrows, guys. Look at those eyebrows. Look at those eyebrows. They look amazing. Jason Momoa, you've killed it with your eyebrows, and now you're in Raid Shadow Legends. Anyways, first form looks amazing. I have no idea what this guy's kit is, but he has an attack base damage dealer with 1700 base attack. We know that means business. 115 base speed as well, just insanity for a damage dealer. Let's go over the kit here real quick. We got an A1, single target hit, places an extra hit if the target is under Death Brand. So Death Brand is the debuff that the Queen of Hearts can place on a champion. Basically, if a champion dies with the Death Brand on them, they can't be revived. So it's basically like a block revive. So that's pretty threatening on a A1. Decreases the target's HP and defense by 10%. This effect does not work against bosses. Oh, that's a big condition there. But 10% reduction on HP and defense. Very nice, especially on an A1 as well. All right, let's go over the A2 here. White Hot Rage. 4-turn cooldown down to 3 turns. Attack one enemy. Before attacking, places block passive skills. Will ignore 50% of the target's defense as well as block, damage, and unkillable. Wow, what a hit. 50% ignore defense, block damage, and unkillable. The only thing you're missing is Stone Skin, but this is pretty amazing hit so far. Let's see if, I mean, we'll have to test out the multipliers and all that, but really nice to see all that in this ability. If the initial target is killed, we'll repeat the attack against all enemies and ignore 25% of each target's defense. We'll also decrease the cooldown of Arctic Howl by 2 turns if the initial target is killed while under Death Brand debuff. Holy moly, it's on a 3-turn cooldown, single book for 20% damage. Pretty crazy, because then you place the block passive skills as well. So then you're going to shut down things like Marichka with reviving everybody. Yeah, this ability is, it could be an absolute game changer. Let's check out the A3 here, Arctic Howl. So 5-turn cooldown, books down to 4 turns. Places increase attack, increase accuracy on all allies for 3 turns. Love it. 3 turns duration for mythicals. Really good. Also places Death Brand debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. It's not a hit, so it's just a place. So affinity doesn't matter. Then grants an extra turn. So it's a 4-turn cooldown. So it's effectively a 3-turn cooldown. And then this one will reduce it by 2 turns as well. So the cycling ability, increase attack, increase accuracy, Death Brand, and then you go into your single target nuke. Which could potentially wipe out the entire team as well with the AoE part. Yeah, I mean, this, like, the setup for this seems kind of crazy. The problem is, I can see it already, is that it's his base form. So if he gets locked out, he won't be able to use this stuff. But he has a passive. Let's check out his passive here before we make any kind of conclusions. Will of the Tundra. Passive effect. Enemies under Death Brand receive 20% more damage and inflict 20% less damage. Wow, insane. If there are multiple champions, blah blah blah. Okay, so it only works once. This champion is immune to freeze, stun, provoke. Not all the hard CCs, but these are some of the main ones that we're going to be seeing more often. And he's immune to it. Straight passive. What else? His active effect on a 5-turn cooldown. Whenever this champion is killed, revive them with 50% HP, 100% turn meter, and places block damage on them for 1 turn. So he has a cheat death ability as well. It's on a 5-turn cooldown, but you know, generally you can kind of cycle through this pretty quickly as a mythical champion. But yeah, pretty nuts. Okay, so back to what I was saying. His base form, super strong. The problem is, if he gets locked out, he won't be able to really do anything, right? His base form, his A1 is still okay, but without his A3 and then his A2, his base form is just not going to be very strong. He can be crowd controlled, and yeah, he can revive himself, but there's no way for him to kind of kick out of being locked out with his skills. So that's a little bit of a bummer. It would have been nice to see this form as the alternate form, but let's check out his alternate form and see what we're working with here. So we're going to transform. Ooh, the giant bear lion. I don't know. I don't know if it's a polar bear or if it's a lion. I think it's a polar bear based on the snout, but he's got the mane and stuff too. I don't know. Again, aesthetically, it looks amazing. It looks so good. Wow, 25k base HP, 115 base speed, and it still has boosted crit damage here too. Maybe this is a damage dealer as well. Changes into an HP champion though. We have HP and attack scaling on his secondary form. Tempest of Swords attacks one enemy 2 times, places stun for 1 turn. Wow, no chance to place it, just straight up places it. If this champion's max HP is higher or equal to than the targets, this debuff cannot be resisted. Yeah, and more than likely you'll probably have it over most champions. Let's check out his A2 here. Goading Roar. So 3-turn cooldown. Places Provoke on all enemies. It's a place, not a hit. If the target is a boss, places Provoke for 2 turns. Amazing. Some bosses do, are susceptible to Provoke, which is great. If this champion's max HP is higher or equal to, these debuffs cannot be resisted. So technically, you don't need accuracy on him if you just have really high HP. Places a Strengthen on all your allies, and then places Counterattack on this champion. It's a 3-turn cooldown, so it's an AoE, Touchless, Provoke, Strengthen, Counterattack, and then no accuracy necessary for most of it. Yeah, pretty good, like high value ability. Obviously, like we have, for example, Molly. Molly has a 3, what is it? I think she has a 3-turn AoE Provoke, Touchless, but then she doesn't have Strengthen, Counterattack, and then she doesn't have this accuracy, Irresistible condition. So obviously, it's a crazy high value AoE Provoke here on the A2. The A3, 3-turn cooldown when fully booked. AoE attack. Before attacking, places decreased defense on all enemies for 2 turns. If this champion's max HP is higher, this debuff cannot be resisted. That's great, no accuracy needed for most of the part. This attack deals single target damage to each target individually rather than AoE. Will ignore 30% of each target's defense. Places extra hit on bosses, enemies under stun, or provoke. If a target is a boss or is under stun, provoke, will ignore 50% of the target's defense instead. Oh my goodness. So if they're under some kind of hard CC, stun or provoke, you're going to be dealing a double hit, and you're going to be doing 50% ignore defense on a 3-turn cooldown, and you have a decreased defense application already. So you're going to apply the decreased defense before attacking, and then you're going to smash everyone if they're already under stun and provoke. I mean, that's not out of the realm of possibility, but you do get the unconditional 30% ignore defense already. You don't get the extra hit, which is a big damage drop. It is HP and attack base as well. It's very interesting. So he has 2 damage forms. Wow, I don't know. It's interesting. Passive here before we make our final conclusion. Passive effect. Every time an enemy is killed, increase this champion's max HP and defense by 20%. Oh my goodness. Every time a champion is killed. Every time. So this is reoccurring. Just trying to think where this can be kind of like abused, I guess. And this could be your own team or the enemy's team. Immune to freeze, stun, or provoke, same as the base form. Active effect on a 2-turn cooldown. Whenever an enemy attempts to place freeze, stun, or provoke on this champion, instantly activates Glacial Rupture. Oh my god, instantly activates this. This will not put Glacial Rupture on a cooldown. So if you're trying to freeze, stun, or provoke him, he's going to smash you with this. Decrease defense and then 30% ignore. That's the base. And then if you already have some champions under stun or provoke, it's going to be a double hit, and it's going to be a 50% ignore defense. And then he already gets this stuff against bosses, which is going to be really good. I mean, I can see this guy being really strong in like lots of areas of the game, to be honest. He doesn't have a cheat death on his secondary form, but if you're going to go second and the enemy goes first, then you're going to land on this form anyways, and then he does have a cheat death here. but he is susceptible to getting locked out. That's the thing, right? So if he gets locked out in his base form, he transforms into his secondary form. And then he can still do stuff, which is really good. But his secondary form, I think I kind of like his base form a little bit better. I'm not too sure. The secondary form has 2 scaling stats, attack and HP. I don't know. They're both really strong. I think this guy's a really, really strong champion. He looks amazing. He looks amazing. I just like the way this guy looks. He looks so cool. He looks so cool. Missed opportunity to put him in the Skinwalkers, but he looks really cool. Needs to test out the damage multipliers and all that, but I think this guy could be a threat. Right out of the box, he looks very usable, very, very good. Anyway, so that's Arne the White. Let's check out the second new champion that's going to be coming with this next patch update. From the Sylvan Watchers, Vestele Riverthorn. Again, aesthetically looks amazing. Looks amazing. I don't know. They got this new female character model, I guess. It looks great. Looks great. Wow. Attack base damage dealer, magic affinity, 1729 base attack. That's massive. 103 base speed, 63 crit damage here. Let's check out what she can do here. You got an A1 double hit. Before attacking, 50% chance of removing all buffs from the target, goes up to 75% chance. Has a 100% chance to steal all the buffs instead if this skill is used not on this champion's turn. So counterattack, ally attack, join in attack, I guess. This effect cannot be resisted by targets whose attack is equal to or less than this champion. So very often she's going to have the most attack, so it cannot be resisted. So you're either removing the buffs or you're straight stealing the buffs. Crazy. We'll ignore 5% of the target's defense for each buff on this champion. Double hit. Yeah, this is pretty strong. This is a pretty strong ability. I like it. I like it. A2 here, Erosive Force. 5 turn cooldown, books down to 4 turns. Attacks one enemy. Before attacking, places increased attack, shatter on this champion. That's great. That's great. Increased attack and shatter. Shatter gives you, this one gives you 15% ignore defense. Will ignore block damage and stone skin. Very nice. So that means she can go through champions like Niemi, can go through stone skin. So she's a viable go first champion. Grants an extra turn if she kills an enemy. That's great. If the target survives, fills the turn meter of all allies by 30%. Okay, that's pretty huge. That's a really, really good ability. I'm assuming that it's strong enough to kill stuff. The extra turn is so good. Let's see what you're going to be using with your extra turn here. The A3. Meltwater Flood. 6 turn cooldown, books down to 4 turns. So that's a little bit of a drawback. Both her abilities are on 4 turn cooldowns. AoE attack. Before attacking, places 100% chance of placing Weaken on everybody. Okay. This debuff can't be resisted, whose attack is equal to or lower than this champion. Okay, so it's basically irresistible. We'll ignore 25% of each target's defense. That's great. These are unconditional, basically amazing. Places an extra hit on enemies whose attack is equal to or lower than this champion. So it's a double hitter most of the time. Places an unkillable and counterattack on this champion for 2 turns. Wow, this is a really strong kit and it's very cohesive. The counterattack works with the A1, so now you're just stealing buffs. You're constantly stealing buffs because you got the counterattack, you got the unkillable. Too bad it's not a protected. It's not protected unkillable, it's not protected counterattack and all that nonsense. If it was protected unkillable, this champion would be like busted like crazy. But who knows? Who knows? Let's check out the passive here. Does she have any survivability? Has a 50% chance to deal 100% more damage against enemies whose attack is lower. Okay, 50% chance to do double damage. This champion receives 30% less damage from enemies whose attack is equal to or lower than this champion. So that's just flat. That's just a nice flat damage reduction to protect her. The problem is like these kind of damage reductions is not enough to protect a squishy attack-based damage dealer from dying. So she has 15k HP. She's not going to be able to survive any kind of reasonable damage dealing hit against her, even with this 30% mitigation. She has really high base attack, so it's kind of easy to get her as the highest attack. So she's going to benefit all the time from this entire kit. Doesn't need accuracy in her kit because of her attack stat being so high. You can build her up really high. I like it. I think it's very cohesive. She has self buffs as well, which is really, really good. So that's going to give her ignore defense on her A1. She can ignore stone skin. She places shatter on herself for ignore defense. And then she has extra turn mechanic, and then she has more ignore defense on her A3. I like her as a damage dealer, but I think overall she still needs something to keep her alive. Something like unkillable block damage or something to prevent her from dying. Give her a chance to take a turn. But she is a non-void champion, so she is, we'll have more opportunity to get her in the non-void pool. Yeah, and I mean she looks amazing, and she's in the Sylvan Watchers as a damage dealer as well. So I would love to have this champion. I think I love her kit. I really like her kit. I really like both of these champions that are introduced along with the fusion, the partner, Arne the White, Vestali here. They're both amazing. They got both awesome kits. Looking forward to testing out the multipliers to see if they can actually hit. But that's going to be it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about Arne and Vestali here. Yeah, are you guys excited for their kits? Do you guys think their kits are good? Let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching until the end. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.